Okay, let's get started. Now we are discuss about the Poetics by Aristotle, chapter 19, Thought, its relations to plot and diction. The plot and characters having been discussed, it remains to consider the diction and thought. As for the thought, we may assume what is said of it in our art of rhetoric, as it belongs more properly to the department of inquiry. The thought of personages is shown in everything to be affected by their speeches in every effort to prove or disprove. Arouse emotions, pity, fear, anger, and the like, are to maximize thought. It clear also that their mental procedures must be on the same lines in their action. Likewise, whenever they wish them to arouse pity or horror or have a look of importance or probability. The only difference is that the act of the impression has to be made without verbal explanation. Whereas with the spoken word, it has to be produced by the speaker and desired from his languages. What indeed would be the good of the speaker if thought appeared in the required light even apart from what he says? He regards the diction, one branches of the inquiry under this hand is the terms given to the language. When spoken, the diction between command and prayer, simple statement and theater question and answer, and so forth. The theory of such matter, however, belong to education and the professor of that art. For how? For who can admit the fault imputed to Homer by Protagoras? That is the word. Seeing goddess of the world, he give a command under the idea that indeed it is the only unity he stress upon. Comparing epic and tragedy, he once again reminds the writer that it is disasters to write a drama in the manner of writing an epic. In an epic, there is place for a multiplicity of detail and action. The entire story of the Iliad would be much inappropriate for a tragedy. The tragic poet's business is to select a single suitable action, select a certain portion of tragic traditional stories, and represent it in his play. An attempt to dramatize an epic would result in failure of dramatic effect. Dramatic effect depend upon compact, compactness and coherence and concentrations. Only then can tragedy achieve the emotional effect proper to it. The chapter ends with a note on the part of the chorus. The chorus to play must play a relevant part in the play and not merely sing charming but irrelevant songs. Or it would be contrary to the principle of having only the relevant incident in a tragedy. It would then induce the tragic effect. Anything that can be transposed or removed easily without distributing the whole has no place in a coherent whole of a tragedy. A choric song which has no relevance to the play as a whole should not have a place in the play. In the sixth chapter, Aristotle has attributed six elements to tragedy. Of these has discussed plot and characters in detail. Plot, eternal element. Plot and character are the eternal elements of tragedy. Another such eternal element of tragedy is thought. Thought. Thought and dictions are quite closely related. Character express thought through language, their speeches. Thought is the content of diction. Thought are the intellectual element express itself in the following says. Proof and refutations. Thought is expressed by the characters in the word by used to prove or disprove something. They might try to prove their own point or refute another argument to produce emotion effect. A character may bring into his speeches various emotions in order to pursue and conceive. In the modern age, one tends to separate thought and emotion. He utters a prayer for to tell someone to do or not to do thing. He say a command. We may therefore pass this hour as an inquiry that belongs to another part, not to poetry. Okay, do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.